Hashtag why intelligent people prefer silence. You walk into a room full of people. Everyone's talking, laughing, sharing stories about their weekend, their problems, their opinions on everything. And then there's that one person, sitting quietly in the corner, observing, listening. Not because they're shy, not because they have nothing to say, but because they've learned something the rest haven't figured out yet. Silence is power, ***. And today, we're going to explore why the most intelligent people you'll ever meet choose silence over noise. Why they'd rather listen than speak. Why they hold back when everyone else is rushing to be heard. This isn't about being antisocial. This isn't about fear. This is about strategic thinking. This is about control. Let's dive in. Hashtag the first realization. Intelligent people discovered something early on. Something that changed how they interact with the world forever. Words are weapons, ***. But not in the way you think. Every time you speak, you're giving away information. You're revealing your thoughts, your strategies, your weaknesses. You're handing people a map to your mind. And the intelligent person? They know this map is dangerous in the wrong hands. Think about the last time you overshared with someone. Maybe you told them about your new business idea. Your relationship problems. Your fears about the future. What happened next? Maybe they used it against you. Maybe they stole your idea. Maybe they gossiped about your struggles. Or maybe they just filed that information away, waiting for the perfect moment to exploit it. Intelligent people have been burned by this. They've learned the hard way that loose lips don't just sink ships. They destroy opportunities. So they stay quiet. They listen. They gather information while giving away nothing. Because in a world where everyone's talking, the person who listens controls the conversation, ***. The psychology of observation. Here's where it gets interesting. While everyone else is busy talking about themselves, the silent person is conducting an experiment. A social experiment you don't even know you're part of. They're watching your body language. Noticing the words you choose. Seeing who you look at when you laugh. Understanding what makes you uncomfortable. They're building a psychological profile of everyone in the room. And you have no idea it's happening. This is what intelligent people understand that others don't. Silence isn't emptiness. Silence is active. It's strategic. Every conversation happening around them is data. Every argument. Every joke. Every moment of tension. They're learning who has real power and who's pretending. Who's confident and who's compensating. Who can be trusted and who's playing games. The person talking reveals themselves. The person listening, they remain a mystery. And mystery is the most powerful position you can hold. The energy equation. But there's another reason intelligent people prefer silence. Something more practical. More ruthless. Most conversations are a waste of energy. Think about your average day. How many conversations do you have that actually matter? That actually move your life forward? 5%. Maybe 10. The rest is noise. Small talk. Gossip. People venting about problems they won't solve. Debates that go nowhere. Status games disguised as friendly chat. Intelligent people have calculated this equation. They've realized that most social interactions have a negative return on investment. You spend energy. You spend time. You spend mental resources. And what do you get back? Nothing. Or worse than nothing, you get drained. So they opt out. Not completely. But strategically. They save their words for moments that matter. For conversations that build something. For interactions with people who operate on their level. Because they understand that attention is currency, and they're not spending it on poverty. The manipulation immunity. Here's something darker. Something most people don't want to admit. Talkers are easier to manipulate. When you're constantly speaking, constantly reacting, constantly engaging, you're predictable. People can push your buttons because you've shown them where those buttons are. Someone insults you. You defend yourself immediately. Someone challenges your opinion. You argue back. Someone questions your intelligence. You feel the need to prove yourself. You're a puppet. And your strings are clearly visible. Intelligent people have cut those strings. By staying silent, they become unpredictable. You can't manipulate someone whose reactions you can't anticipate. You can't play mind games with someone who refuses to play. They've mastered the art of the non-response. The strategic pause. The neutral expression that gives nothing away. And this drives manipulative people crazy. Because manipulation requires engagement. It requires reaction. Silence is the ultimate defense against psychological warfare. The confidence paradox. Most people talk to prove something. To themselves. To others. To the world. They need validation. They need to be seen as smart, funny, interesting, important. So they fill every silence with words. They interrupt. They dominate conversations. They make everything about them. This is insecurity pretending to be confidence. Intelligent people have transcended this need. They don't need to prove anything to anyone. They've developed what psychologists call internal validation. Their self-worth isn't determined by external approval. It's not based on how many people laugh at their jokes or agree with their opinions. So they can sit in silence without anxiety. Without the desperate need to fill empty space with meaningless chatter. This makes them powerful in ways that loud people will never understand. Because true confidence doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need to. It simply exists. And that quiet confidence is more magnetic than any words could ever be. The quality filter. Here's a test intelligent people use. A filter that separates valuable people from time wasters. They stay silent and see who's bothered by it. Insecure people can't handle silence. They need constant noise, constant validation, constant proof that they're interesting or important. When you don't immediately respond to their stories, don't laugh at their jokes, don't engage with their drama, they get uncomfortable. Sometimes angry. These are the people intelligent individuals want to avoid. But quality people. They respect silence. They understand that not every moment needs to be filled with sound. They're comfortable with pauses, with reflection, with depth. By preferring silence, intelligent people naturally attract other intelligent people. And they repel everyone else. It's not antisocial. It's a sophisticated filtering system. The power move. Let's talk about something you've probably never noticed. In any room, the person who speaks the least often has the most power. Watch a board meeting. A negotiation. Even a family dinner. The person who stays quiet, who only speaks when necessary, commands attention. When they finally do speak, everyone listens. Because scarcity creates value. If you're always available, always talking, always sharing your opinions, your words become cheap. Background noise. But if you're selective, if people have to wait for your input, suddenly, what you say matters more. Intelligent people understand this power dynamic. They've weaponized their silence. They know that one well-timed sentence after minutes of observation is worth more than an hour of constant chatter. They've turned their words into a rare commodity. And rare commodities are always valuable. This is influence by subtraction, not addition. The final truth. So what have we learned? Intelligent people prefer silence because they've decoded something fundamental about human interaction. They've realized that talking is often a liability, not an asset. That observation beats participation. That mystery beats transparency. They've understood that in a world obsessed with being heard, there's tremendous power in choosing not to speak. This isn't about being cold or distant. It's not about superiority or antisocial behavior. It's about operating at a level most people will never reach. It's about protecting your energy, your information, your power. It's about making strategic choices instead of emotional reactions. It's about understanding that sometimes, the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. So the next time you're in a room full of talking people, look for the quiet one. The observer. The person who seems content to simply exist without constantly broadcasting their existence. That person isn't missing out on the conversation. They're conducting it.